Okay, so yesterday we had a little bit of a intense, we could call it, and deep explanation of what simcha is. How simcha, joy, shira, is allowing our soul, our neshama, to reconnect back to its place underneath the kisei hakavod. How when we come to thank Hashem, it's the most natural and normal expression of our soul. That our neshama is back at home, as it's connecting back with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and it's right there, under the kisei hakavod. And therefore it's no wonder that such an expression of thanks, of praise, of shevach, of rina, connects us to Hashem. But now, what's the next step? So we're connected to Hashem. So we said shiras and tishbachos. Says Hashem Shabinkis, what's the next step? The next step is that automatically, through the connection of shira, tishbachos, comes the shefa, comes the bracha. And he proves this. He says, just like we know that when we daven to Hashem for rachamim, when we daven to save us from our tzaros, what happens is we receive that from Hashem. So too, by praising Hashem, we receive that as well. And he brings a beautiful proof for the Gemara in Tainus. And this really takes us full circle. If you remember, very in the beginning of the Sefer, we learned that in the first bracha of Shemoneh Esrei, when you say Roifei Chaylim, when you mention that Hashem is the healer of the sick, we said that's not the time to cry. We said that's the time that you're praising Hashem. You're showing how you believe in Hashem, that He has the ultimate ability to heal the sick. But one might have thought at that moment, but wait, why is it going to help? So I'll praise Hashem. So what? Right now, Rosh Hashanah answers that question. And he quotes the Gemara in Tainus that says, a famous Gemara, Mashav Ruach, what happened? When Mashav Ruach was said, the wind blew, the Nashav Zika. What happened when Mayrid HaGeshem was said, Asa Mitzra, the rain came? We all understand there's a problem here. By Mashav Ruach, Mayrid HaGeshem, the beginning of Shemoneh Esrei, that's not a bakasha. We're not asking Hashem for the rain. We're recognizing God's greatness that He gives the winds and the rain. But what do we see? We see that the recognition of Hashem's ultimate greatness, the connection to Him by praising Him, allows Hashem to make that happen, allows that shefa to come down. And now he proves this. He proves this from a pasuk. Now the Vilna Gaon explains a pasuk that says, Toiv lachatzois b'Hashem. It is better to lachatzois, means take shelter in Hashem, mibetoyach ba'adam, than to trust in man. And the Gaon explains that there's a nuance here. There's shelter and there's trust and faith. Bitachon is, I trust, I have faith in you, you're going to help me. Shelter is a reality. When I am underneath an overhang, I won't get wet. Right now, I'm in the shade, so there's no sun on me. The parts of my body that are not in the shade have sun on me. This is where it comes from, that you take shelter in Hashem. That when you're protected, you're being megan by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the reality is that you will be protected. You won't get wet. You won't have the sun on you. The shefa, the bracha is going to come. Because when one is connected to Hashem via the shiras and tishbachos, the automatic response, it's its shelter. It's not something that I need bitacha and I need to believe in. I need to work on. Hashem has to make it happen. No. The more that I'm, quote unquote, hanging out with God, the more that I am connecting, cleaving, and cleaving to Him, automatically the spillover effect is going to be that I'm going to receive that which I daven for, because that is the shelter, that is the yechesoyon of Hashem. And he proves it further from a pasuk in Tilim, Chastacha v'amitzcha tamid yitzruni. He proves it from more psukim, and the detail that we keep on seeing, ba'ar panecha panei melech hayim, in the light of Hashem's countenance in life. It's a light. The light gives off light whether you like it or not. And we conclude this section with the realization that the more we connect to Hashem by saying His praises, the automatic response, we say, Hashem, you're the entity that heals, one, God willing, will be healed. Hashem, you're the entity that gives parnasa, one, God willing, will receive that shefa.